Joe, I've speeded this up so that we can see it fairly quickly. What I want you to pay attention to is that there is no point here where you go straight forward in a straight line. Remember that in order to ferry across an eddy line, you can't just come right up to it and paddle slowly along it as you do here. You need to set an angle, paddle fast in a straight line across the eddy line, do your doofick, turn downstream, etc. This time the ferry works because you get a lot of forward momentum and you stay along the eddy line, but as you get up a little further, you do a stern pry which kicks your bow out to the right and sets your ferry angle. And because of your forward momentum, you can now cross the eddy line and do a ferry. That one looked pretty good. Here you're controlling the boat with draws and pries to the side of the boat. What you should be doing is forward strokes with stern pries. Joe, your second run is much better. You have a reasonable ferry across, and as you peel out you get some forward momentum and your doofick looks reasonably good, so this run is much better. The paddle placement on this doofick looks pretty good. The only problem with the maneuver is that you don't have any boat lean, so you need to be leading into your turn more than you are. Okay, Steve, I want you to pay attention to this first sequence of moves. Watch your torso, and I want you to notice that there's no movement at all. Check out your forward stroke. Notice how far your grip hand is being driven down because you're not torso rotating. So one of the things you really have to work on is bringing that grip hand straight back and rotating your torso. Steve, I've slowed down your doofick here so you can see your grip hand is not on your shoulder or about even with it. It's about halfway on your chest, and you can see how the water loads up on the paddle face as you start to stroke. So the paddle is not turned correctly and you could easily have just gone right down in the water with this one. So you need to make sure your grip hand thumb is on your shoulder or pointed towards it, and has to be out as far as your shoulder rather than on your chest. Okay, first I'm not seeing any torso rotation with either of your forward strokes. Guys, your ferry angle looks pretty good here. Steve, you need to make sure that you coordinate your strokes with your partner. Dennis, your placement of the dufek here is kind of upside down and backwards. And when you do a cross dufek, your grip hand comes with your thumb straight up, and your hand is almost in your armpit, a little bit above, but about at your armpit. So you've kind of bent your elbow and put it in your chest, which is incorrect. Your ferry angle looks pretty good. Dennis, some of the time you coordinate your strokes with Steve and other times you don't, so you need to make sure that as much as possible both paddles should hit the water at the same time. This eddy turn looks pretty good. You get good forward momentum. Steve does a really nice placement for his dufek, and as far as I can see, Dennis, you're doing a real good forward sweep. The only thing that might be a problem here is it's a little hard to tell, but I don't think you have much lean, so you need to lean a little bit more downstream, otherwise it looks pretty good. Steve, at first on this dufek, you put your grip hand on the wrong shoulder, then you recover and it comes out pretty good. Dennis, your reverse sweep looks excellent as you're coming in. It's exactly the stroke you needed to be doing.